The landscapes of our lives are for learning, where experience is our teacher. When we gather together to share our resources, we are destined to love and thrive. Good morning, Pierre.
Hey, good morning, Maureen. How are you doing?
I'm good. You said it was cold there, 45 degrees. It's not cold.
45
It's
yesterday.
cold here.
Yeah, you said it was going to be like
Negative
-2.
-6. Yeah. So
it's funny how we talk about the weather and stuff like that, but
it's all relative.
A bit of a factor. We're having rain, which I'm thankful for. Little bits as we go along is really good to recharge the water systems out here, which is sorely needed. So all that's good. What are we potting about today?
Well, I thought we would talk about attention because I'm giving a little workshop tomorrow. So why not do a little learning practice here about attention.
That sounds great. Not like just the word in 3 minutes, but a longer conversation. Tell me a little bit about your workshop. How did it come about, and where is it being held, and what's going on?
Well, I don't know if I told you before, but I started a wellness resource center at my local yoga studio where I work, Studio Y. My friend James, also a yoga teacher, bought the studio recently in September. It was Bikram Yoga Danvers, and he's expanding it to include, trying to build a wellness community around Bikram yoga as the centerpiece, but also offering other fitness classes. And so I thought, let's open a resource center. It's like a little room, and there's a bookshelf, and it's a place where people can gather and connect with each other as resources and, community building.
That's fantastic. You and I both being yoga teachers and having traveled to many yoga studios, I know I'm always impressed when I walk into a yoga studio and it has a bookshelf or a little place for sitting, as opposed to just you walk in, you go into the studio room, and this concept of a wellness center with a resource like yourself, that sounds like great partnership with James there. That's really cool. So you're offering an attention workshop. What's kind of the structure of that?
Yeah, every weekend for the next couple of months, I'm going to do short little talks about basically aspects of yoga. It's yoga off the mat, if you will.
Nice. I like that expression, yoga off the mat.
Yeah, sort of like the self-study for self-realization, as Bikram would say that the yoga is. And so aspects of self-study include your nervous system, your, mind, body, health, all the things we talk about on this podcast, cognitive function, mental function, mindset, and body-based, stuff with everything from menopause to, sleep to outdoor time, social connection, all the aspects of health that make us resilient to stress. So relaxation things. And so I'm going to do just a bunch of workshops on a whole lot of different topics that really, what is wellness on the continuum of illness, wellness, and fitness. And so define that and define how community fits in with wellness.
That sounds great, Maureen. I liked what you just said. Hold on a second. Illness, wellness, and fitness. All the is there.
It's the spectrum.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Well, I wish you luck, and it's every weekend. And how much is it to attend?
It's free for members. And yeah, we'll probably start charging people drop-in fees if they come from outside. But for now, it's free if you're a member. So
resource of the studio. That's great.
I just need to note that the illness, wellness, fitness spectrum isn't mine. That's from Greg Glassman, who created CrossFit. And that was his way of explaining health. So on that continuum, but I think it's a useful one.
So for him, it's a continuum. illness, wellness, fitness. When you are beyond just being well, you're fit. That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a cool article about it. I'll send it to you.
All right. Well,
Anyway,
you're the perfect you're the perfect resource to have in the resource center, because this whole podcast is on, bringing resources to people. And there, I seized on a little, phrase, and boom, oh no, that's not me. That's the guy who invented CrossFit and everything. That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So yeah, the first workshop's going to be on attention. And you're right. It is just an extension of what we're doing here. And, the link to my website, James has sent out to the community emails. And so all of what I do here will be stored on my site. People can access it from, online too. But I like the fact that this is in person. It's delivering this mind body content and the resources, face to face with people, and trying to get bodies together really so that we can teach people the value of close contact and interpersonal connection and community. And we really need that so badly. And the people here have responded like they're so happy, because post-pandemic,
Right.
loneliness and sense of belonging, we all need that so badly. So people are excited.
That's neat. Yeah, I was just going to actually pick up on that, post-pandemic. I think a lot of people realized how much, personal connection is important to their lives. And now that we are getting back, my workplace is just going back to, in-person meetings.
Yeah.
And I think people are becoming more intentional about how they want to re-enter that social context, and get something out of it. You're not just sort of floating along, because we're all in some sort of social world, world and whirl. And
Yeah.
now we were removed from it, and we get to pick a little bit. I think, maybe not more often than not, but more often than before, people are a little bit more conscious about what activities, how it's going to pay a
Yeah.
dividend,
On the other side of that too, or I'll add to that, is our nervous systems have definitely been impacted by being separated and having had gone through this whole 1.5 2 years thing of being separate, and the mistrust. And there's probably going to be a lot of fear and anxiety in people too, being close to people again, physically, I mean, physiologically. And things like making eye contact, shaking hands, really like hugging people, like it's definitely, we took a little hiatus from that stuff. And we were so kind of on alert for someone breathing our way. And really,
Right.
I think that has tuned people in that way. And so they're going to have to, it's re-exposure, right? And gentle re-exposure. So I think doing something like what we're doing here, you can tell people want it, appreciate it, but people are also a little timid too.
Yeah.
A little reticent and a little unsure, but I think, the more we get back into the swing of things and get connected. So really that's actually a big part of content, is to teach people exactly that. Like, you might be feeling extra sensitive, and if I teach them a little bit about their nervous systems and why, the impact the separation from other bodies had, I think they'll probably appreciate that. I hope it's comforting.
Well, I think it's really cool. And they're, the early adopters of coming back into, personal space and contact, coming to a yoga studio in person, a sweaty one at that. So,
Right.
We'll revisit it, and let our listeners know how the workshop went. Be very interested.
Yeah. Well, I'll just tell you a little bit more about, like, the theme is attention as a form of love, because it's February. And so
Oh,
really connecting, right, with people, by paying attention to one another. And what does it really mean to pay attention? What is attention? I'll define that. It's narrow and selective, which means, we can't pay attention to everything. in in the world, right? We're only a small little part. So, there's a whole lot of the world that we don't see, and we have to kind of make decisions about where to put our attention, which is connected to your values and like what matters most and what are you paying attention to most. So I created a little challenge with lots of options for people to do about like either doing an attention audit to figure out, hey, where is my attention focused most of the time, and am I sure I want it there? Is my ladder leaning against the right wall, right? Or shall I kind of take a lay of the landscape there of what I'm paying attention to most? And the other thing is that it's kind of the foundation of mindfulness, which is something that I want to build on in the future. Paying attention on purpose to expand your awareness and paying attention non-judgmentally, right? It's just paying attention and letting what's happening unfold.
Right.
Be a witness to that without then labeling things or changing things. So that's that kind of whole John Kabat-Zinn Buddhist definition of mindfulness.
Yeah. Well, I'll just let you know that in a parallel thing, I got a note from the church and a challenge, and it's called the Examen, EXAMEN. And it's a religious discipline where you review your attention towards God in the course of a day. You do it at the end of the day. And it's a five-step process. Of course, there's an app for that. But you ask God for light, and you look at your day as if you were imagining how God was looking at it. You give thanks that you've lived this day, and you're grateful for the gift of the day. You look back and see how you were conducting yourself with or without the presence of a spirit influence. You face up to any shortcomings, and you thank your maker for the day to come. So it's a five-step little process, and it was a challenge thrown down just last night in preparation for Sunday's lecture, you might say. It's called the Sermon at Church. So yeah, wow.
Yeah. Well, I think attention, I'm hoping people just really think about the definition and then apply that to themselves and their own experience, right? Like examining and playing with your own attention. Like, what is attention? I've never thought about it. And where is my attention going, in a class, or what disturbs my attention? And I think a lot of people have problems paying attention. And so what's that all about? And that's what I want them to discover. Like it's okay to have problems with your attention. What is problematic? And that leads them to, my future workshops and nervous system regulation, right? It's like, it's something, so if you're unable to pay attention and sustain it, we need to look at why, what's going on. It's probably something, going on, either, poor sleep, not enough social connection, diet, lots of variables that impact your attention, because a lot of people struggle with, in a Bikram class, like even in Savasana, focusing your eyes and relaxing your body and just breathing, paying attention to your breath. And people, a lot of people struggle with that.
I love teaching a yoga class, absolutely slaying people with the postures, and exhausted at the end in Savasana, and they can't lay there for longer than 90 seconds. But anyway, well, let's wish you luck with the workshop, and then let us know how it goes.
Yeah, I'll probably have to do it twice because it's going to be -6 tomorrow, and I don't know if anybody's going to come because it's
Well, that's okay.
dangerously cold, but that's okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not putting you on the spot with the success of it. Just, getting the word out there. So,
Yeah, it'll be fun.
this is Pierre from Yoga Heals Everywhere.
Maureen from Landscapes for Learning. Learn to live and live to learn.
Cool. Peace through grace, my friends. Peace through grace.